So it's been a massive week for news for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Firstly, we got a brand new release, a world update, this one focused on Japan. It brought with it a bunch of new photogrammetry for a variety of different cities, as well as of course a load of different points of interest. We'll get into that in just a moment. Also this week, Microsoft announced that the Flight Simulator 2024 is coming to the PlayStation 5. More than that, it's also going to be available for the PlayStation VR 2. So let's start with that world update. Now, many of you who were around in the early days of Flight Sim 2020, you will remember that Microsoft released a world update for Japan way back then. This will be the second world update for Japan, this time bringing it in line with the graphical fidelity, the updates that are available in Flight Sim 2024. And as the graphics here, I don't think there's any getting away from it. They are very impressive. This is all actually very nice to see indeed. So we've got a variety of different cities here which are getting photogrammetry updates. Photogrammetry, for those of you who aren't aware, essentially makes the cities look far more realistic. The cities in question are Hiroshima, Kyoto, Osaka, Sapporo and Tokyo. So each of these cities should now look visually improved and be, well, just hopefully provide a much better experience when you're flying over them. It doesn't end there though. Microsoft have classes as one of the largest world updates they've ever released. As such, there's much more content. 67 points of interest are included. This covers areas and places such as the Osaka Castle. You can also expect to find the Seto Inland Sea, the Shosenpetsu Observatory, as well as the Enoshima Sea Candle. So there's a whole load of different places to visit. One thing Microsoft pointed out here is that, I guess as with many world updates, Microsoft don't build these all on their own. Microsoft have pointed out they partnered with Bing Maps here, as well as the Gaia company Gaia. They've made a lot of nice assets over the past. You can actually buy stuff directly from Gaia. And there's also Asobo, of course, all who have worked on this. Elsewhere, you can expect to find a variety of different handcrafted airports. There's 5 of these. One of them will be especially interesting. It's the Hokkaido Spaceport. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing a little bit of aerospace activity, this will be the place to go. Although I guess no rocket launches here. Although that said, in the real world it does operate as a commercial spaceport for various different rockets and supporting space-related experiments. So yeah, whilst you might see suborbital rocket launches here in the real world, I guess you won't be seeing them in the game. Nonetheless, this is a very interesting airport for Microsoft to include in the update. There's also a few others here. I'll list those on the screen right now. Each of these I'm sure are well worth checking out. Now, as with other world updates, it's not just about updating the cities and the landscape and other such areas and airports. They also come with other content as well. In this case, there's a variety of new missions. These are both available in Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024. In fact, it's actually worth pointing out, a little bit late now, but still here, that this update is for both versions of the sim. So in terms of new activities, there will be some discovery flights here. For example, tours around the National Park of Chibu Sangaku. Sorry if I've mispronounced that. There'll also be a tour of Kyoto as well. The update also includes some flight challenges, so if you're up for flying in strong winds, this will be worth taking a look at as well. It's nice to see that the update also includes a bush trip, something I haven't tried out myself for quite a while, but might actually get back into because flying on a bush trip around Japan sounds particularly fascinating. This one starts out at Mount Fuji and moves on from there. It's also worth pointing out there appears to be a rally race challenge included as well around one of the national parks. All in all, a big update, very much worth looking at. And I guess the best thing about all of this is it's entirely free to all owners of Microsoft Flight Simulator, regardless of whether you own Flight Sim 2020 or Flight Sim 2024. Just head on into the sim and download the update from the in-game marketplace, and again, at entirely no cost. Moving on, we come to that rather surprising announcement. Well, perhaps not too surprising if you've been paying attention to rumours, but nonetheless, the announcement of Flight Sim 2024 coming to the PlayStation 5. This kind of reaches into Microsoft's new aim of releasing games onto other consoles, not just the PC and Xbox ecosystem, and going out to entirely different consoles here. The release date is set for the 8th of December this year, and in terms of pricing, just as with the PC and Xbox versions of the Flight Sim, there's going to be a variety of different editions. This starts with the standard edition, which is priced at $69.99. You then got the deluxe edition, which is $99.99. The premium deluxe edition, which is $129.99, and unbelievably, the aviator edition, which is $199.99, basically at $200. So they're really pushing the boat out here when it comes to pricing. Seriously expensive. So what do you get for your money? Well, with the standard edition, you get 70 aircraft, 150 handcrafted airports for $70. The deluxe edition is 80 aircraft and 155 handcrafted airports. That's $100. The premium deluxe edition gives you 95 different aircraft. That's $130 and 160 handcrafted airports. And finally, the top end, the aviator edition, gives you 125 aircraft and 160 handcrafted airports, and that's just 1 cent short of $200. Personally, I do have a little bit of reservations here about those prices, but well, there you go. But it's also worth pointing out that this will be available for both the regular PlayStation 5 as well as the Pro version. Fingers crossed there's some enhancements going in for the Pro version of the sim. Additionally, this will be available for the PlayStation VR 2. Very curious to see how that actually works out because, Microsoft Flight Sim is very intensive even on a PC and can be very demanding indeed when it comes to hardware requirements. So seeing how this runs on a console in VR is going to be, well, it's very curious to see how that actually plays out. Microsoft have also pointed out they'll be using the features from the DualSense controller. So that means interacting with Flight Sim 2024 on the PlayStation 5 with a controller is going to feel quite different to interacting with it on the Xbox by a controller. So some of those features they'd be taken advantage of here will be, they say, adaptive triggers which respond to different speeds and surface types on the ground and provide sloped resistance in the air. They also say that communication from ATC will be able to be played through the speaker inside the controller. They also said they're going to be taking advantage of the gyro controllers, light bar support, as well as the touchpad as well, although they haven't gone into details on precisely how each of these different aspects are going to work when it comes to the sim. Nonetheless, I think these are all pretty fine additions. Oh, and another note here on the PlayStation VR 2 that's worth talking about is that it will also support the Sense controllers as well, so you won't have to rely on the regular controller, the regular control pad. You'll be able to use the full-on virtual reality Sense controllers when interacting with the sim. They were pretty keen to point out though that the PlayStation VR 2 update doesn't arrive initially with the game's launch. That won't be available directly on the 8th of December along with the launch of the game. Instead, for the VR update, you'll have to be waiting until 2026. That's a pretty broad release window. Hopefully it's towards the earlier parts of 2026 rather than the later parts, but nonetheless it's pretty nice to know that that update is on the way. So there we have it. Those are the big news items for this week. A whole New World Update release and a brand new edition coming to a different console. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. There is another one on the screen right here if you want to check that out. Do take care, and I'll catch you next time.